The night Nora Whitfield realized her marriage might be built on a lie didn't arrive with shouting or slam doors. It came quietly, disguised as an ordinary Tuesday in suburban Evanston, Illinois. Rain tapped against the kitchen window while the dishwasher hummed, and her husband, Caleb Moore, stood at the counter, folding a receipt again and again as if the thin strip of paper might disappear if creased enough times. Nora noticed the way his jaw tightened, the way his eyes refused to meet hers. For 10 years, she had learned to read his silences the way other wives read moods. But this silence felt different, heavier, deliberate, rehearsed. They had met in their late 20s, both carrying small failures they rarely discussed. Nora had wanted children immediately. Caleb had wanted time. Time turned into years, years into routines, and routines into something that felt like stability. Friends envied them. Their neighbors trusted them. Nora trusted him. That trust was the foundation of everything. Shared bank accounts, joint holidays, whispered promises in the dark. And yet, standing there, watching him fold that receipt, Nora felt the faint but unmistakable crack of something giving way. "What's that?" she asked, nodding toward his hands. Caleb startled, then smiled too quickly. "Nothing." Work stuff. Work. The word that had become his universal explanation over the last year. Late nights, unreachable weekends, sudden trips to Cleveland, then Des Moines, then Phoenix. He always returned with gifts and apologies, with stories that sounded plausible enough to discourage questions. Nora had accepted them because questioning felt like betrayal. Because marriage, she believed, was about choosing faith over suspicion. But suspicion has a way of growing teeth. Later that night, after Caleb fell asleep, Nora lay awake staring at the ceiling fan. Her phone buzzed softly on the nightstand, an unknown number. She almost ignored it. Almost. The message was brief, brutally simple. "You don't know who you're married to." No name. No explanation. Just that sentence, sitting there like a loaded weapon. Nora's first instinct was denial. Wrong number. A prank. But when she glanced at Caleb's sleeping face, she noticed something she hadn't seen before. Relief, as if sleep was the only place he could stop pretending. Her heart raced. Not with anger yet. Bad weed fear. Fear of what she might find. Fear of what 10 years of silence had allowed to grow in the dark. She told herself she wouldn't investigate, that marriages survived on restraint, that curiosity could destroy what patience preserved. But by morning, restraint felt like cowardice. And cowardice, Nora Riali said, was not the same thing as love. She didn't know it then. But that single message had already set events in motion, events that would force her to confront not just her husband's secret, but the uncomfortable truth about how willingly she had looked away. Nora began carefully, almost clinically. She checked the obvious places first: email inboxes, social media accounts, a shared laptop. Nothing. Caleb was meticulous. His digital life looked like it had been curated by a professional consultant. Clean, boring, empty. That absence was its own kind of warning. The real clues appeared in analog spaces. A locked drawer in his home office she'd never opened. A storage unit listed under his name, but paid for in cash. Receipts like the one from the kitchen tucked into jacket pockets. All from the same small town in Indiana she'd never heard him mention, Marrow Glen. When Nora finally asked him directly, she kept her voice calm. "Is there something you need to tell me?" Caleb didn't answer right away. He looked at her the way someone looks at a burning house they were still deciding whether to run back into. "No," he said. And in that moment, Nora understood something fundamental. Whatever the truth was, he had already chosen it over her. She drove to Marrow Glen alone the following weekend, telling Caleb she was visiting a college friend. The town was quiet, almost deliberately forgettable. A diner, a library, a row of modest houses near an abandoned rail line. It didn't take long to find what she wasn't supposed to see. His face stared back at her from a newspaper clipping pinned to a bulletin board inside the local library. Same eyes. Same scar near the eyebrow. Different name. Ethan Cross, age 31. Reported missing. The date was 10 years ago. The same year Caleb Moore had supposedly moved to Illinois and met her. Nora felt the room tilt. Missing meant many things, but none of them aligned with the man she slept beside every night. She photocopied the article with shaking hands and left before anyone noticed her distress. Back home, she confronted him. This time, there was no pretense. She placed the photocopy on the table between them. Caleb's face drained of color. He didn't ask how she found it. He didn't deny it. "My name was Ethan Cross," he said quietly. "Before you knew me?" Nora waited for the explanation she felt she was owed. What she got instead was a confession that unraveled everything she thought she understood about the man she married. Ethan Cross hadn't gone missing by accident. He had disappeared deliberately after, testifying in a financial fraud case that exposed powerful people. Witness protection had given him a new name, a new life, and strict rules. No contact, no truth, no past. And me? Nora asked. What was I? A cover story? Caleb flinched. You were real. The only real thing I had left. It was a romantic answer. It was also deeply insufficient. Nora's anger arrived late, but when it came, it was methodical. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She asked questions precise, unforgiving questions that Caleb struggled to answer without contradicting himself. How long had he known? All 10 years. Why hadn't he told her? Because the rules forbade it. Because fear had been easier than honesty. What about children? She asked. Was that part of the rules too? Caleb looked away. I couldn't risk it. That was when Nora finally raised her voice. You didn't risk me, she said. You used me. Caleb insisted he loved her. And Nora believed he believed that. But love, she realized, was not the same as respect. He had made a unilateral decision to deny her the truth, to deny her informed consent to her own life. The marriage wasn't built on lies. Exactly, it was built on omissions. And omissions, over time, had shaped every major choice she'd made. The situation escalated when Nora received a visit from Lena Alvarez, a federal investigator assigned to review old witness protection cases. Lena was calm, professional, and unsettlingly direct. She confirmed Caleb's story and added a detail he had avoided mentioning. The people Ethan Cross testified against were no longer imprisoned. Some had resources, influence, motive. He's at risk, Lena said. And so are you. For the first time, Nora saw genuine terror in Caleb's eyes. Not fear of losing his marriage, but fear of being exposed. Fear of consequences. That distinction mattered. The couple was given an ultimatum. Relocate under stricter supervision or separate permanently to minimize risk. Caleb wanted to run again. New names, new city, another clean slate. He spoke about it like a logistical problem. Nora refused. I'm done living someone else's survival plan, she said. The confrontation reached its peak. The night Nora packed a bag, Caleb blocked the doorway. Not physically, but emotionally pleading, apologizing, reframing his betrayal as sacrifice. He said he had protected her, that without him, she would have been an ordinary woman, safe but insignificant. That was the moment Nora understood the deepest flaw in his reasoning. He had never seen her as an equal participant, only as someone to be managed. She left. In the weeks that followed, the truth spread selectively. Not two friends, not two family. Only two lawyers and investigators. Nora filed for separation, then divorce. Caleb complied, subdued and resigned. Witness protection reassigned him again, this time without a spouse. The irony wasn't lost on Nora. He had hidden for 10 years to survive, and in doing so, he had destroyed the one thing that might have made survival meaningful. Months later, Nora sat alone in a small apartment overlooking Lake Michigan. Her life was quieter now, smaller, but it was hers. The divorce finalized without drama. Caleb, wherever he was, didn't contest it. There were no dramatic courtroom scenes, no last-minute confessions, just paperwork and silence. Ocasionalmente Nora wondered if she had overreacted. If love should have been enough to excuse the deception. Society often romanticized secrets kept for protection, but the longer she lived with the truth, the clearer it became. Protection without choice was control. She began therapy. She rebuilt friendships she had neglected. She told herself uncomfortable truths about how easily she had accepted ambiguity because certainty required courage. The dark secret Kayla hid for 10 years had just been his identity. It had been his belief that he alone knew what was best. Nora rejected that belief. She didn't hate him. Hatred would have been simpler. What she felt instead was a clean, resolute clarity. Some secrets didn't just reveal who someone was, they revealed who they would always choose to be when pressed. And sometimes, the bravest thing wasn't uncovering the truth but walking away once you had it. Stories like this don't end when the secret is revealed. They end when someone decides what the truth will cost and whether they're willing to pay it. Deep Dive Secrets exists to explore these hidden corners of human relationships, where love, fear, and control often masquerade as sacrifice. If this story made you question what honesty really means inside a relationship, you're not alone. Many of the most damaging betrayals aren't loud or obvious. They're quiet, patient, carefully justified, and they survive only as long as no one asks the wrong question. Subscribe to Deep Dive Secrets for more real, cinematic stories about family and relationship secrets that challenge easy narratives and expose uncomfortable realities. Watch closely. Listen carefully, because sometimes the most dangerous lies are the ones told with good intentions.